Got another Helldivers 2 update for you. The game's CEO Johan PIlestedt, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, I hope I am, but he seems to be completely unaware that this new requirement that Sony is mandating that players who have downloaded and purchased the game via Steam will need a PlayStation Network account linked to their Steam account in order to play the game in June requires ID or facial recognition in some countries, specifically the United Kingdom and Ireland. So before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. I wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com this morning. And so just to kind of get you caught up, Sony Interactive Entertainment, the game's publisher, Helldivers 2's publisher, posted this to the game's Steam forums announcing this requirement earlier this week. It says, due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. See details below in this post. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. As such, as of May 6th, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have linked a Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. And then it kind of provides instruction on how to link your account. Well, there's massive backlash. Many players have already said that they have uninstalled the game and will no longer be playing anymore. Others are still trying to get them to change their minds or find some way to make this an option, make it optional, that and maybe providing a reward or something like that if you do indeed link your account. You see that a lot with mobile games where they ask you to link your Google Play account or your Facebook or something like that. So you do see a lot of that happening. Well, PIlestedt has attempted to calm gamers down, and a lot of this is because you've seen his own community managers have kind of stoked the fire. They belittled gamers, mocked them. We've seen some kind of mixed messages. Obviously, this is from Sony saying that it's because they want to ban gamers. We've seen the community manager say it seemingly is coming from Arrowhead because they wanted to ban gamers. There's a lot of mixed messaging going on, and PIlestedt seemed to try and calm things down. I'm not sure if he succeeded in that. I think he just kind of stoked the flames even further, given the fact that he's showing his ignorance about what this change actually entails and shows a lack of communication between Sony, Arrowhead Game Studios, and what is actually going on here with Helldivers 2. But he posted this. He says, hey, everyone, in regards to account linking and questions there too, please reference PlayStation support. If you have any further questions, you can reach out using the contact PlayStation support at the bottom of the page. So it really looks like he's trying to deflect from Arrowhead Game Studios onto PlayStation and Sony in that post. He's trying to be like, hey, please stop coming and talking to Arrowhead. Stop coming at us. Go to PlayStation. Well, Mark Kern, a.k.a. Grums, he responded to this. He says, fix your community managers. They are creating a PR disaster for you. Kind of just talked about that, how they were kind of mocking and insulting and belittling the gamers who are rightfully upset about this, given the fact that this was not really a requirement for the first couple months of this game. And now all of a sudden, it is now going to be required to play the game. PIlestedt actually responded to that. He said, I understand that linking accounts and signing up for additional services may not be something that some users would like to do, and that needs to be respected. While the Steam page has always shown the requirements on the game page, I wish we had been more clear with the long-term intent to not disappoint any of the divers out there. So he's obviously actually seemingly understanding that why gamers or players would be upset, and he's saying that needs to be respected. So that kind of implies maybe there are some internal communications happening between Arrowhead and PlayStation, maybe to figure out what is going on here. We're already kind of seeing, talked about this in a previous video, already kind of seeing player base decline with Helldivers 2. I think that's maybe just normal attrition. People are kind of over that fear of missing out. They had like a big influx. People have moved on. They find other things to do rather than just playing Helldivers every single day or at least once a week or whatever it happens to be. They found something else to fill that time. They've gotten busy. There's sports on or something like that. They're having to deal with their kids, family. Those things come up, right? Life happens. But he does understand that. And so he's doing, I think, a lot better job, obviously deflecting to Sony, and then here actually saying he understands why gamers are upset and that they need to be respected, something the community managers weren't really doing. We then had a number of individuals inform him that linking their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account requires a phone number, ID, or facial scan in the United Kingdom. We had this user, Lyra Goldtongue, Gabo Girl X. She posted, I'm assuming it's a woman, Gabo Girl, right? Gabo Girl X. Who knows, though? We're crazy 2024 time. People are clearly deluded. They don't know what they don't know truth from fiction. But anyways, Lyra Goldtongue says, it's also the fact I'm forced to hand over a phone number, ID, or facial scan just to make the bloody account in the UK. Xbox doesn't ask you for that sort of stuff when you make it. Also, the fact they've had so many data breaches, so I doubt said information is safe in their hands. And then PIlestedt is like, is this true ID or facial scan? And then kind of with that thoughtful emoji. Gabo Girl, as well as others, shared screenshots providing this is indeed a requirement. Here you go. You can see the screenshot provided by Gabo Girl right there. It does indeed say it requires a facial scan or ID in order to verify someone's age for creating a PlayStation Network. And then there were numerous responses like this of people sharing this evidence here. Ex-user Maverick Live also informed PIlestedt this. It's true for those who reside in the UK. And then he actually shared a link to PlayStation's support page for the United Kingdom. And if you go through that support page, it says we are piloting an age verification process for players who register for new accounts in the UK and Ireland. If you are setting up an adult account, you will be asked to provide proof that you are over the minimum age for that type of account using an age verification service. It then notes that the age verification is done via, quote, mobile number, facial scan, or ID. Verification methods are provided by our service provider, Yoti. So PIlestedt responded with bewilderment here. He says, wow, that seems crazy, but I assume it's a law in the UK that you need to be able to verify the age of your users. Either way, sounds like a bit too much for my freedom-loving mind. So I'm going to disagree. I don't think it's probably a law. It clearly is some kind of PlayStation Network policy because people probably don't need to verify, or I might be wrong on this. I haven't looked this up. But this is why they're pissed off, because they don't want to do the facial scan. They don't want to do the ID, and that's why they don't want to link their Steam account to their PlayStation Network account. So I think that is kind of logically makes sense why they don't want the PlayStation Network account, because they didn't have to do that for Steam. If they don't want to do that for PlayStation Network, then why they want to keep it? That's why they just want to keep their Steam account, because they don't want to do that stuff because they didn't have to do it through Steam. And obviously, they don't want to give that information to Sony and their third-party provider, Yoti. So he seems kind of shocked by this, which, again, I think is another evidence of, like, they didn't really think this through. They didn't really understand what was going on here. It does not seem like there was very good communication between Arrowhead, between Sony, and they kind of rushed this out without thinking through the ramifications of this. And I just wanted to add this too. This is kind of unrelated to this facial scan ID verification system over in the UK that they didn't really know about it. But we also have this. And again, this also, I think, goes to the fact that they didn't think this thing through. But we have this person here, Decanomicon. Sounds like a Digimon. Kind of cool name. This person posted, let me start by saying, I know it's not you guys, but Sony who's holding the metaphorical gun here. But some countries that have your players literally cannot make PlayStation Network accounts because Sony does not recognize them on PlayStation Network. What's going to happen to those players? And he says, we're discussing that question with our partners at PlayStation and trying to find a solution. So again, this isn't something that you should be trying to find a solution to. Before you rolled any of this stuff out, you should have had a solution. And that's why I think this was done. I think the whole safety thing that they tell us that they want to ban players, and we've seen this from the community managers and stuff. I think that is a narrative that they cooked up. I think there is clearly something else going on here, why they decided to roll this out. It does not seem like it was well thought out. Clearly, there are lots of issues with this: the facial scans, the ID, the phone number for the UK, and then you have who knows how many players in all of these other countries that you can't even sign up for PlayStation Network because they don't allow you to. So this was clearly done, I think, with some alternative purpose to this idea that they want to ban players and they want to protect players. My theory. is that this is kind of almost like a revenge done by Sony because of the Stellar Blade controversy, where people were mass unsubscribing from their PlayStation Network accounts. They were canceling their subscriptions as part of Grums's 8-step plan to free Stellar Blade. I think that there is something to that there, because we're seeing more and more evidence here piling up that this seems to be a rushed out policy that neither Arrowhead Game Studios nor Sony actually discussed or realized the ramifications of it. It just seems like there was a massive lack of communication, massive lack of planning, where even the CEO of Helldivers 2 has no clue what this policy actually entails for the players of his game, which is just utterly wild. I mean, it's just utterly wild. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable to each other, but to always speak the truth.